Imagine you are suspended in the freezing, pitch-black water of the deep ocean. You are a fish. You have no hands to grab things. You have no arms to defend yourself. Your entire existence, your only way of interacting with the universe, is through your mouth. To survive, you must constantly push dark water through your mouth and out through your gills. Your gills are as delicate and sensitive as the inside of human lungs. Every second of every day you inhale the ocean. But the ocean is not empty. The dark water is teeming with microscopic life, drifting silently in the currents. And tonight, as you take a deep, rhythmic breath, you inhale a microscopic shadow. You don't notice it at first. It feels like a piece of sand or a fragment of a dead leaf caught in your biological filter. But then, the piece of sand begins to move. It is crawling against the current. It is walking up the delicate, blood-filled arches of your gills. You shake your head. You violently flare your gill covers, trying to flush the debris out. You cough into the dark water. But the irritation doesn't stop. In fact, it digs in deeper. Because what you inhaled is not debris. It is a highly specialized, heavily armored biological assassin, the juvenile Cymothoa exigua, and it is just broken into your body. For the first few weeks, the parasite stays hidden deep inside your gill chamber. It is the perfect hiding spot. It is dark, it is protected from the outside world, and the constant flow of ocean water brings it an endless supply of oxygen. If you could see this creature, your mind would shatter. It looks like a massive, pale, prehistoric pill bug. Its body is covered in thick, overlapping plates of chitinous armor. But its most terrifying feature is its legs. It has 7 pairs of legs, and every single one of them ends in a razor-sharp, violently curved scythe. It uses these hooks to permanently anchor itself to the soft, bleeding tissue of your gills. You can feel it. Every time you breathe, you feel the heavy, rigid, armored mass shifting and scraping against your most sensitive organs. The claustrophobia is absolute. Imagine having a massive, living cockroach permanently lodged in the back of your throat and having absolutely no fingers to reach in and pull it out. You can only swim. You can only panic in silence. Inside your gills, the parasite feeds passively. It drinks a small amount of your blood. It eats the mucus you produce. It grows. It sheds its exoskeleton, becoming larger, heavier, and more demanding. It is preparing for its final transformation. Because the gills were never its final destination. The gills were just the waiting room. The true nightmare is about to begin. One night, the massive, armored parasite unhooks its legs from your gills. You feel a sudden, terrifying shift. It begins to crawl forward. It drags its heavy, spiky body over the delicate ridges of your throat, marching deliberately into the cavern of your mouth. You try to spit it out. You open your jaws as wide as they can go, shaking your head violently, desperately trying to flush the monstrous bug into the open ocean. But the parasite is built for this exact moment. It lowers its heavy armor, presses its body flat against the floor of your mouth, and sinks its 14 razor-sharp hooks directly into the softest, most vulnerable piece of anatomy you possess. It clamps onto the very base of your tongue. The grip is absolute. The hooks sink so deeply into the muscle that they wrap around the bones of your lower jaw. The parasite is now permanently locked in place. You close your mouth. The terrifying, multi-legged alien is now sitting perfectly on your tongue, staring out into the dark water through the gap in your teeth. The Cymothoa exigua is not a venomous killer. It does not want to poison you. It is a surgeon, and it is about to perform a horrifying biological amputation. The parasite presses its mouthparts directly against the main artery of your tongue. It bites down, and it begins to drink your blood. It doesn't drink quickly. It drinks slowly, methodically, draining the life force out of the muscle beneath it. Days turn into weeks. The parasite grows fatter, paler, and heavier, swollen with your blood. But beneath its heavy, armored body, your tongue is dying. Because the parasite is drinking all the blood from the main artery, the tip of your tongue is completely starved of oxygen and nutrients. You can feel your own organs slowly rotting inside your mouth. The pink, healthy muscle turns pale. Then it turns gray. The tissue begins to undergo severe necrosis. It withers, shrinks, and dies, completely detached from your nervous system. And then the inevitable happens. The dead, withered tip of your original tongue simply breaks off. It disconnects from your jaw. It washes down your throat, and you silently swallow the dead piece of your own body. You now have no tongue. You are bleeding. You are mutilated. But the parasite does not leave. Instead, it performs a biomechanical miracle that has completely stunned human scientists. In the entire animal kingdom, across millions of species, this is the only known instance of a parasite functionally replacing a host's severed organ. The massive, pale bug firmly anchors its tail to the remaining bloody stump of your tongue muscle. It aligns its body perfectly inside your lower jaw. It curves its armored back to match the exact shape of the roof of your mouth. It stops drinking your blood. It doesn't need to drain you anymore. Instead, it physically links itself to your remaining tongue muscles. When your brain sends a neurological signal to move your tongue, the parasite moves instead. You press your tongue against the roof of your mouth to swallow food, but you are not pressing your muscle. You are pressing the cold, hard, chitinous armor of a living crustacean against your teeth. It has become your tongue. You have been biologically hijacked. When you catch a smaller fish, you use the parasite's hard body to grip and manipulate the prey inside your mouth. You eat, you survive, and you continue to live your life. But every time you feed, the monstrous prosthetic tongue sitting in your lower jaw casually leans forward and steals a few scraps of meat for itself. You are sharing every single meal with the monster that mutilated you. Living the rest of your life with a giant alien bug acting as your tongue is a claustrophobic nightmare. But nature is endlessly cruel, and the horror of the tongue-eating louse does not end with amputation. It ends with reproduction. You see, these parasites are protandric hermaphrodites. Every single one of them is born male. The microscopic shadow that entered your gills months ago was a male. But when he crawled into your mouth and severed your tongue, the sheer dominance of the position triggered a violent hormonal shift. The male parasite mutated, grew massive, and permanently transformed into a female. She is now sitting in your mouth, waiting. And one day, as you inhale the dark ocean water, another microscopic shadow enters your gills, another juvenile male. He crawls into your gill chamber, but he does not move to the mouth. He stays small. He waits in the dark of your breathing organs. And in the cold, crushing blackness of the deep sea, the tiny male crawls up from your gills, enters your mouth, and physically mates with the giant female acting as your tongue. They reproduce inside your skull. Weeks later, the massive female opens her brood pouch and violently expels hundreds of tiny, spiky, wriggling baby monsters out of your mouth and into the open ocean, ready to find their own victims. You are not just a host. You are a living, breathing maternity ward for the creatures that destroyed you. Human beings look at the tongue-eating louse with absolute disgust. It is an alien concept to us. But imagine, just for a second, if a parasite like this evolved to target humans. Imagine waking up with a heavy, armored, multi-legged crustacean lodged firmly in your jaw. Imagine looking in the mirror, opening your mouth, and seeing two cold, pitch-black eyes staring back at you from the place where your tongue used to be. Knowing that to speak, to eat, to breathe, you must cooperate with the creature that stole a piece of your body. Nature is a masterclass in psychological horror. Having your tongue replaced is terrifying, but at least the monster is hidden inside your mouth. What if a parasite chose to live somewhere you couldn't ignore? Somewhere you, and everyone else, could see it moving. Imagine walking up to a mirror, looking closely at your reflection, and watching a 2-inch worm physically wriggling across the white of your own eyeball. Click the video on your screen right now to discover the terrifying claustrophobic nightmare of the Loa Loa eyeworm. And don't forget to subscribe to Dysfauna.